Welcome back to Tailgate Sports Media, episode 28 again. I'm Devin. This is my good
Oh,
buddy Ray. This is the premier
yeah.
podcast for sports, mostly football, and of course, the most important part of sports, the tailgate. Uh, First thing right off the bat, episode 28 should have been last week. It got lost during the transfer. File got corrupted and then just completely disappeared. Could not save it, couldn't figure it out. We tried our best to try to get it back down and re-record, and real life, real life jobs and day jobs got in the way of that. So it didn't happen. And we said we'd just do a quick recap this week. Um, First things first, how you doing, Ray?
I'm doing all right.
Doing all right. One thing I think we need to start doing every podcast, and maybe only this podcast because I've already seen it. Tonight, I'm enjoying a nice sugar-free peach tea. Raymond, what are you enjoying tonight?
Really, that's what we doing? All right. Well, I am enjoying what appears to be a nice tea as well, but is actually Jack Daniels on the rocks.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. Raymond, his best self right now.
Yeah, well, not a lot of friends over the house today, so I thought I'd invite my boy Jack over.
There we go. There we go. We'll jump into it. Got a little bit of college football news right off the bat. The UT RGV Vaqueros played their first season of collegiate football last year. They were Division One FCS. Did very well. Actually had a little shot at the playoff. Played in a tough Southland Conference. Uh, they have their stadium. Bob and Janet Vacker Stadium down in Edinburgh. They have announced that they are expanding by
Oh,
1,500 seats. So it's a 12,000 seat stadium. They're going to be expanding by 1,500 seats. And I believe they plan to have that ready for this football season from everything that I've seen so far. And the reason I say that as a season ticket holder, I immediately got it announced today, and within an hour, I immediately got a notification that seat upgrades were going to reopen
oh,
this month within the next week. So they're going to let people do seat upgrades, move if they want to, and then they're going to reopen the list for a bunch of people that are waiting for season tickets. So that is pretty exciting for a program that is literally going into its second year of football ever.
yeah, no
Um,
kidding.
Very exciting.
Are they just open? Is it just seats in general, or are they expanding like the suite level?
But it's not, it's seats in general. So it's, I believe it's the end zone, because one end zone is open, the other end zone, I can't give you north or south. I don't recall, unfortunately.
It's fine.
Actually, I probably can because the sun sets behind us, which would be the west, which would
Yeah,
make that the south. So the south end zone was all student section and band, right?
yeah.
They're expanding that, so now that season ticket, it will include all the students now, and then it will also have some season ticket holders be able to get in there and some game day tickets. They announced they're also going to be doing uh, same day tickets. So if you want to buy tickets at the door, it's a very limited amount, but they will have those available in that south end zone. So I think that's pretty exciting for a very young program.
Yeah, no kidding.
Got that out of the way. Raymond had some homework 2 weeks ago, 1 week
Yeah,
for
yeah.
y'all,
The
or one episode for y'all. Raymond was going to find out about quad ball for us, or
or it was Quidditch at the time. We have since
yes,
discovered that they have changed the name from Quidditch to Quadball.
quad
Uh
ball is what muggles call it.
oh, you went and got some you went and got some lingo while you're yeah, in between the weeks, huh?
My wife has made me watch the movies.
So she's all in Quadball.
Oh my gosh, she's ready to go. I told her about this and she was like, "Yeah, we're going." And I was like, "Okay, whatever it takes
So
to get you to a sporting event."
yeah, so I expected it's like I saw Quidditch at UTSA. I expected it to be like a hobby thing. I saw it a couple years ago. Turns out, not only is UTSA 2025 national champions in
Oh,
quadball, on the professional level, yes, there's professional quadball. The San Antonio Soldados are national champions as well. So San Antonio has two championship quadball teams in town. Now the champion the playoffs, they're not playoffs, but the playoff tournament is this weekend. So we missed the entire collegiate quad ball season, but the professional quad ball season is about to begin. So come June, we're gonna be some quad ball fans. I'm getting me a Soldados jersey. If UTSA sells a quad ball jersey, I'm getting that too. Um, we going to games. I uh I found out tryouts are on April 26th and May 2nd, I believe. I'm gonna be there. I'm about to be a full-on quad ball fan. This podcast is about the tailgate. We're gonna be tailgating some quad ball.
Hell yeah, absolutely. I will say this: the jerseys did look sick. Those were
Okay,
awesome jerseys. For the professional team, I will definitely hop in on one of those for sure.
perfect for
They'll have a
oh
spot.
yeah,
They'll have a
right.
spot.
Get me one of those little ghost cases.
Exactly. I tried to do some quick research because what you said was the college team and the national team were from the same city.
Well,
I don't think that's ever happened in football. I'm trying to find a time. There's been times
huh?
where like multiple national champions for like professional leagues came, but from a college to
Yeah,
professional, you can't find like I can't find a correlation. This is a very brief search though, and it's the Google AI takes over, so you can't trust it.
yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Probably has something to do that if the college team is national champions and if they wanted to keep playing, they went straight to the
Hey,
national team
that might
in
have
town.
might be that the UTSA team and the professional team aren't that different in roster.
It's the same coach. It's the
It,
same players.
it's like
No
when
one, there is no quad ball draft considering that there's open tryouts next week.
there's like a state champion in high school football and the 7-on-7 team around town is suddenly that good. Similar thing.
Yep. Yep. Hey, that 1 year O'Connor made that deep. They went to this, they lost in the semifinals for not college, high school football. They won 7-on-7 that year. I mean,
Yeah. Hey,
there's a correlation, right?
might be something going on there. We won't look too deep into it, but yeah.
That is quad ball news from our quad ball correspondent and Jewish basketball league correspondent,
Oh
Raymond
yeah.
Harmon.
Yep.
Um, Nothing that we're going to do on it this week. Moving on to the next subject. I didn't have a segue there. Um, First off, watch me pop these pills. I'm going to leave it in the podcast too.
We've got liquor and pills on the same podcast. I don't think that's a good
My
idea.
pills are prescribed,
Oh, okay, fair enough.
probably.
Uh,
Um,
Mini update on the oh wait, no, this is 2022. Apparently San Antonio has a Jewish basketball adult league. So I guess I have more homework to
Raymond, my man. Raymond the Ocho Harmon. Raymond the Ocho Harmon. Let's fucking go. Um, 8 is my number, all right? It's birthday, birth weight, it all kind of like it was weird. It was a lot of eights all at once, and I'm like, that's got to be my number. Eight's my number. You might have to wear the 8 for the scrub for any tailgate leagues that we have. So I'm gonna say scrub
possibly.
leagues. That's a whole different group.
Well,
Tailgate leagues, we get.
you can have 88.
I'll take 88. We'll pass that on like we do with the Cowboys here.
No deeper meaning, just the number.
Yep. God damn it! Damn it! I was there first.
Were you though?
Uh,
Were you though?
sometimes you wish you weren't white so you could just enjoy your favorite number.
Hey,
All right, anyways, that number's ruined. Moving on, NFL draft next Thursday.
yep.
So the week after this will come out. Um, I have received the unfortunate news that every manager at my job, besides the general manager, can't work that day. So she's going to work the morning, and guess who's got to be in charge at night and can't get out of it?
Damn. You don't want
This
to.
guy.
You can't swap.
Not that shift. Any other shift, I'd be like, who wants this shift? Who wants this shift? There might be one guy, but it's pushing it. It's
I'm
pushing
saying
it.
take the morning.
Oh no, she's not giving up her morning shift. Do you
Oh,
think she
okay.
wants to be up past 8 o'clock?
Okay,
Doing
fair.
coverage? No, hell
Like,
no, it's not happening.
you miss 100%
So I
of
got
the
to work.
shots
I
you
got to
don't
work
take.
the draft. I
Wow.
mean, yeah, this year, like, hey, listen, here's another problem, and honestly, it's probably the bigger problem. I don't want to be at work at 8 a.m.
Man, when you're right, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. All right, like, hey, man, listen, I'll there's TVs at the restaurant. I'll turn that bitch on. I'll come check. It's not like I don't have to like. It's not like I got to stand there the entire time. They got 10 minutes between every pick. I'll be home before pick 10. Before the Cowboys even get on, unless they trade up,
Yeah.
I'll be home. NFL draft next week. I won't be there. Raymond, what are you doing draft night?
Uh, I'll probably, in a weird twist of events, I'll probably stay at work so that I can watch the draft because streaming prices are expensive.
Not only are you right, and this is probably the worst news I've gotten in my life. I have to be coverage that night, so I can't go home for the draft. It's also trivia night that we host on Thursdays.
Oh,
So the place is going to be packed. It's going to be busy, and I'm going to be like trying to like watch draft picks, standing in front of people who are trying to watch trivia. Like, shut up. They should have traded up, and they're like, I'm just trying
who
to figure out.
and because it's draft night is going to be themed, who was the number one draft pick in 2003?
Honestly, if that guy came in and it was a bunch of NFL trivia, I would have respect for him. And he's a very nice guy. Doesn't seem like a football guy. I don't think it's happening.
Honestly, though, you telling me there's a crowd for trivia night at an HEB?
Oh my God, brother. Oh my God. They start at 7. They close the place down and the place is packed. It's work. It's work. It's the busiest weekday that we got because of trivia night. And they all come get their $2 off beers and $2 off nachos, but everyone's like, I don't want a nacho, I'm here for barbecue. And it gets busy.
That's wild. I'm gonna take notes. I might steal that one for my job. Hey
Hey
y'all,
man,
hey
they
y'all
they
want to do
go all
trivia?
over the place.
Y'all want to do trivia?
I'll I'll get you I'll get you some notes. I'll hook you up.
All right.
Um Coming in to NBA playoffs now.
Yes.
Um Bracket pretty much set. We got some play-in games going on. Raymond, I don't know if you were able to do any homework on it. I did very little because I don't watch basketball.
I
But
didn't. I mean,
ignore the Spurs 2007 championship hat right behind my head you normally can't see.
oh
I
yeah,
don't watch basketball. I watch Spurs basketball when they're in the playoffs. I watched during the Tim Duncan dynasty. And then they
as you
sucked, and
should.
I was like, well, I better go get my life together.
Yeah.
You're a 20-something-year-old man, you better figure it out. And I didn't. Um, what do you got going into the playoffs? Stories to watch, series picks, anything like that. And if you don't, no shame.
I don't have much here. I was gonna look up and research the playing games, but they're pretty set as well. It looks like 76ers are currently up on the Magic, but it's a close game, 59-58 in the third quarter. So that one could really go either way. I'm thinking that's going to be a 76ers game just because the Magic have Paolo Banchero and he's really good, but I don't think they have a team deep enough to. I mean, even if they win tonight, they don't have a team deep enough to make a serious playoff run. Let's see. Outside of that, we have Pistons at number one, which I think we talked about last week as well. That's something you don't see every day. I think you're about to go into viewership in the NBA. I think things like Pistons at number one, Thunder at number one, Spurs at number two, Knicks at number three on the East. That's probably a lot of the reasons why, because you're looking at a lot of teams that are have been on like rebuilding decades that are
Mhm.
now like popping and are making their runs at the championship. And people like yourself who were out or haven't watched since the Tim Duncan era, Knicks probably since Carmelo and so on, are now finally coming back because their teams are good now.
I love that. I think you're absolutely correct. I do have one prediction just from the like because I'll keep track a little bit, but I don't really like set aside time to go watch, and I definitely don't pay for enough streaming services to go watch games. I think the Thunder Honestly, maybe not even the Thunder, but I think the Spurs and the Nuggets sweep their series.
Oh, you're saying in the first round.
Well, you know what? Actually, no, I take that back because the Spurs have kind of like taken a step back the last few games. I don't know if they were resting people though. That's the
Oh
main
yeah,
issue.
yeah. Wimby was out with an injury. I'm not going to say exactly what because I don't remember
I
specifically.
remember seeing
But
that. He got hurt.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Wimby
He had
went
like
down.
17 points in 16 minutes. It was unreal.
Yeah. I think he had like one tune-up game and then they sat him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go ahead and stick to it. Why not? Balls to the wall. Not like I know anything about basketball really. Thunder, the Spurs, and the Nuggets are all going to sweep for the first round.
Let's see. So the Spurs have the Suns now. Nuggets have the Timberwolves, and
Oh, the Spurs
then
have the Trailblazers.
you're absolutely right. Spurs, yeah, Spurs have the Trailblazers, and then the Thunder have whoever. Like they have the whoever plays. Oh no, they have so between the Clippers and Warriors, whoever wins that has to play the Suns, and that person gets it. So that one still has a bit of a ways to go to figure that one out. But Thunder
Yeah,
should sweep either or all any one of those three, I think.
yeah. That's where that prediction's coming from. Just like the top tier of those teams, and the Nuggets have just been unstoppable the last few weeks. Um,
Scarily
there's just
so.
three teams that are scary to play. Unfortunately, don't know enough about the East to make any great predictions there.
Yeah,
Well, here's what
me
we're
neither.
gonna do,
No.
and it's gonna be me arguing with my phone. Okay, I'm set back up. I just had to get ready for our next segment. Anything else on the NBA?
Uh no, other than this might be one of the first playoffs in a long time that I may watch just because it's on and not necessarily watching the Spurs run. I don't think I might watch any playoff game that pops up on this one.
Hell yeah, there we go. I like that. Time to get into the meat and potatoes. All right,
Okay.
we're done. We're done with the appetizer and this and the house south. Meat and potatoes of the podcast, the UFL.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, we had picks since, or we didn't have picks per se, but we talked about the week going into week two. Week two has passed. Now week three has passed.
Yeah.
Uh, so do a quick recap on week two. Week two, DC versus the Aviators. DC just dominates the entire game. It's never really close after the second quarter. DC looks very good. Aviators kind of had something going offensively, but they're definitely missing some key points. Let me take that back. Because the Aviators scored, they scored six in the fourth quarter, but I mean they were already down by 18 at that point, so it didn't really make a difference. Uh, Louisville versus Orlando, an ugly game, ugly. Orlando get the win. They moved to 2-0. Orlando is the home team on that one. They moved to 2-0, 19-9 victory. Louisville moves to 0-2 at that point. Birmingham versus the Houston Gamblers. The Houston Gamblers' first home game as the Gamblers, and they pull out the sneaky win. They win 22-20 after the backup quarterback comes in and plays lights out. Houston gets the win. I am leveling up as we speak because I'm a diabetic and they just ate dinner. Um,
Eight
then the next game, St.
again.
Louis versus the Renegades. Another one that wasn't really close. St. Louis doesn't necessarily, they don't really pop off to the fourth quarter for most of their points. They get 9 points in the fourth quarter. They only scored 15. Renegades look consistent. They do get shut out in the third quarter, but then they put up 14 in the fourth to just kind of put a cap on it. I don't know. I don't know what word I was going for there. 31-15 win for the Renegades. Renegades definitely look like the best team in the league at that point. Austin Reed, again, does not get the UFL Offensive Player of the Week, the quarterback from Houston does. Let me go see if I can find what his stats were real quick. Nolan Henderson, 186 yards, no touchdowns. He played for 2.5 quarters, 186 yards, which isn't bad for 2.5 quarters, but 186 yards. But he plays a lot more solidly. He gets them the win. Meanwhile, Austin Reed, 240 yards, one interception, four touchdowns.
I see no problems here.
I feel like one of those players maybe had more of an impact on winning the game,
Yeah, that's why you got Player of the Week.
which is hilarious because after that, Austin Reed was still by the UFL's own listing the MVP favorite. So no player of the week. You keep passing him up on purpose, but he is your MVP favorite.
Hey,
Make up your damn minds.
we're trying to see how he handles adversity.
Yep. Moving into week three, which just happened. We'll talk a little bit more in depth in this one because this is the week we're supposed to be talking about. Orlando Storm visit the Louisville Kings. We talked about this one being hopefully a very good game. Orlando Storm, if they win, they are in the driver's seat for a playoff run. They're 3-0 if they win. Louisville desperately needs a win to stay out of the dumpster. 0-3 is a hard way to start and to fight your way out of, no matter how well you play afterwards. Louisville had been like in a bunch of really tight games. This was probably the best game of the week. This one, Louisville comes back to force overtime, 27 all. If you're not familiar with the UFL overtime format, it is a shootout. Each team has three chances to make a 2-point conversion play. If they get it, they don't get a point, but they get like the check mark, or I guess it gives them 2 points technically in the way that the format works. It's best two out of three. That's what I'm trying to say. It's best two out of three. So if you get, you know, no, it's not best two out of three. Cut the whole segment, dude. You're an idiot. Whoever gets the most out of the three wins. And if it's still a tie, it goes to sudden death where you just alternate, kind of like they do in college football. You alternate until you have a defined winner. Well, they go through all three. Nobody gets any conversion attempts. It's a lockdown defense. Um, and Louisville gets one penalty. That's important. Goes into the shootout. Louisville doesn't convert. I believe they go first. They don't convert. And then the Storm go, and Louisville commits another penalty. Well, there is a anti-griefing rule in the UFL where if you commit two penalties on one try or in overtime, they automatically get the point.
Oh,
So when they committed that second penalty, Storm automatically got the points. However, because it was sudden death, the game was over.
oof.
It was I'm trying to think of a way to explain this that's not terrible because the first thing that I had in mind is I can't put on the podcast. It's just too raunchy. Imagine being like at the best moment of your fucking life, the best moment of your life.
I
You're
can
in a
now.
battle for the ages. You're like, no matter how this ends right now, I'm on top of, and then someone punches you as hard as they can in the balls.
I'm laughing so hard because I can imagine what the other analogy was.
The other one was the same thing, but the beginning was different, and it was bad.
I
Thank you, Raymond knows me. Raymond knows where I was going with it.
you said the best moment of your life. I already knew what was up.
Yeah,
It's not that deep. You can fill in the blanks.
yeah, exactly. Um,
Or was it that deep?
Not me. Anyways,
Okay, so Storm Kings, yeah.
Storm win on the second penalty. They never make the conversion attempt. Their second penalty automatically ends the game in sudden death. Um, Mike referee immediately comes out and says the fans hated it, I hated it, we're changing it.
Yep.
Obviously, couldn't change it that week. I haven't heard anything about coming into the week. So whether they change it mid-season or not, I think you got the power to flex it, change it mid-season. Make it happen, dude.
Yep.
But yeah, the fact that both penalties weren't on the same try is, I think, is crazy. Um,
The fact that it ends the game is also crazy.
yeah, that was the worst part about it, I think. Um, Obviously, the rule is a good intention. I don't necessarily hate that the fact that the rule was there, but when it was like the worst case scenario for it to get implemented, and it's like, oh, balls, shit. Um, yeah, so that sucked. People were pissed. It was the best game of the week, and it ended on such a climatic note, it just kind of soured everyone's taste. So the scenario that we talked about just a few minutes ago, uh, Orlando moves to 3-0. A lot of close games, but they've come out top every time. It's hard to win big football games against good teams. Louisville is 0-3 and is by far not the worst team in this league.
Yeah.
They fought hard. They fought super hard, and they were getting something together. So hopefully, I'm a Louisville fan because of it. I want them to fight and figure something out. Uh, Even if, I didn't give a shit about it before the season started. Moving on to also to bring that up, the Louisville quarterback Jason Bean, 352 yards, 3 touchdowns, best quarterback performance we've seen
Ooh.
out of anybody outside of Austin Reed. Jack Plummer, 249 yards, 3 touchdowns, also another very good performance. So the quarterback play might be coming along. Maybe we're starting to get there on the quarterback play.
Yep.
Next game, Houston with that big win over Birmingham goes to DC to play the Defenders. We had talked
Yeah.
about this game in the previous one, saying, I think this is going to be a close game. I think this is going to be a tough game. I
You
still favor the Defenders, but I think it honestly really could go either way.
you didn't
100% wrong.
you
The
didn't have to
Defenders
do all
kicked the
that.
shit out of them from the kickoff to the end. It was
You didn't
ridiculous.
you didn't have to do all that.
It was, hey, listen, I got to be honest with the fans, all right? I got to be honest with the fans, all 23 of them. Um, Houston got their shit kicked in. It was terrible. Houston, everyone was so high up on Houston, like, man, they got this. They look, yeah, the Renegades are really good. They lost to the Renegades, but it was the first game. Then they came back and they get a win. They might be able to. Ooh, no, 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 it was not that. It was not that. Birmingham. I don't know what to tell you about Birmingham. Uh,
Not to mention the game started with a Houston touchdown. It's like, since we're in the analogy game, it's like when you finally face your bully and you land a really good shot on the chin and he just eats that shit and then proceeds to pummel the absolute shit out of you. It's like we were riding high because I finally stuck it to him and then it had zero effect.
you want the nerdiest comparison possible?
Absolutely.
Remember when Vegeta was fighting Semi-Perfect Cell? And Semi-Perfect Cell hits him as hard as possible, and Vegeta's bleeding out of the mouth, and then absolutely wipes the floor with him. He's like, "You better give me your best shot." And he's like, "Nope," and he kicked the shit out of him.
Yep. It's about what it was.
Semi-Perfect Cell was Houston.
Yep.
Hopefully, Perfect Cell comes along, and then Houston's a real monster. But
I think I texted you at 7 to 21 maybe. I said we got them right where we want them, and that text did not age well for the rest of the evening.
Raymond, I got bad news for you because you're misremembering. Houston did not score until the third quarter. It was 28-0 at halftime.
Oh well,
You hate to
uh,
do it to them, but
yeah. Okay, so scrap my analogy. It was not like that at all.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was bad from the start.
So
They
throw
scored
that,
once in the third.
make that punch the weakest punch you've ever thrown in your life, and put it at the end of the ass meeting, and that's what happened.
Like the last thing he did while he was still standing up was got one solid kick
Yeah,
in, and then it was like, but actually,
it wasn't even a solid kick. It was like a kick enough to like make him trip a little bit, and all it did was piss him off.
literally what happened because they only scored three in the third quarter, DC, and then they scored 17 in the fourth.
Yeah, so that wasn't a great game.
Not a great game. Did not look good. Next game, the Sunday morning game, the Columbus Aviators at the Dallas Renegades,
Oh,
0-2 versus 2-0.
before that game, something interesting happened.
Yes, and which is why I'm going to firstly I want to bring up head coach for the Columbus Aviators, Ted Ginn Jr.
Uh,
Um, I hope I'm
Uh,
saying that right.
I'm thinking it's. Well, I've always said Gin, but we can.
Maybe it's Gin. I see Gin, but there's two N's. I'm gonna say Gin. That sounds. He's not an alcohol. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Is he? Because
Let's
he
just
gets
go ahead and call it.
arrested.
Yeah, let's go ahead and call him
He,
Ted Gin for the segment.
we're gonna call him Ted Gin just because he gets arrested for a DWI Friday night before the game in Dallas. So he does not coach. Let me make sure I get my names right. It
Uh,
was Todd Haley. Todd Haley took over coaching duties, and the Aviators put up a good fight. They looked really, really good against the league's number one team.
oh.
So, um, let me pull up my notes here real quick. Not my notes, the box score. Um, Yeah, I mean, it was good. They went up 7-0. Renegades respond in the second quarter, go up 14-10 going into the halftime. And then they fall behind going into the fourth. They're down 17-28. They put up six, don't get the 2-point conversion they're looking to get. And the Renegades end up running it out. But they put up a really good fight against the Renegades, um, which is good for them. Maybe they have some momentum to go off. Unfortunately, they immediately announced that Coach Ted, Coach Jin is still going to be the head coach. He's still going to be performing coaching duties when you just
Yep.
saw Todd Haley did a lot better job than Ted Jin ever did. So disappointing for them. Um, the big thing I think off of this game for the Renegades, maybe it's just them. Austin Reed did not go lights out. 147 yards, two touchdowns. Still not a bad performance. He gets two touchdowns, but you would like to see that yardage higher, especially when he's averaging damn near 300 a game. Um, I think he was averaging over 300 a game. So that looks like it was the biggest issue was that they really couldn't get Austin Reed going. Um, and then that's that. Last game, Sunday afternoon, Birmingham Stallions at the St. Louis Battlehawks. This was you had the vibes pick of the week where you picked Houston over DC. Sorry about that.
I mean, we don't have to.
Originally, I won't do the originally. Sorry about Houston versus DC on the vibes pick. My pick was that because Birmingham was actually a slight favorite over the Battlehawks. And I said, that's ridiculous. There's no way they're going to St. Louis and they're going to get a win. It was closer than I thought. It
Yeah.
was definitely closer than I thought. Um,
I, I said it last week and I stand by it. The Battlehawks have not had a bad game yet.
they haven't had a bad game, but they haven't had a great game. That's how I want to put it.
I think that's fair.
I mean, they lost to the Renegades. They beat DC, and now they go against the Birmingham Stallions. They're down 16-3 going to the fourth quarter, and then they put up 21 in the fourth to seal it 34-30. Um, so they put it away in the fourth quarter. Um,
They had them fours up.
Harrison, say what?
They had them fours up.
Four's up. Harrison Frost does not look great. 148 yards, two interceptions, three touchdowns. So he gets there on the touchdowns with the yardage and the interception. I mean, I think anytime you throw an interception, that automatically negates 75 yards. That's how I feel. So he threw, for my eyes, negative 2 yards, three touchdowns.
Fair enough.
I'm not counting how many of those might have been returned for a touchdown. I don't recall. Um, but St. Louis gets the win. It doesn't feel like the same St. Louis team that we're used to. Um, but that's week three. St. Louis, Birmingham. St. Louis gets the win. St. Louis moves to 2-1. Birmingham moves to 1-2. Um, before we get into week four, let's talk a couple notes about the week. Um, attendance issues.
Gonna happen.
Dallas home game, less than 6,000 people. They averaged around between 8 and 9 last year. They started their game earlier this season was a low compared to the rest of the season. This was the biggest low by far. Um, less than 6,000 people. The team did move out of the old stadium or the old field. I think it was Choctaw Stadium to the place in Arlington, which is a lot more of a drive for a lot of people, and that might have been a miss on the UFL's part. This is your home base team. This is where the UFL is based out of in Dallas, Arlington area, and they barely over 5,000 people. That is not sustainable, really. Another big one was St. Louis, who averaged 30,000 people a game, had 20,000 people for their Sunday game. That is a huge drop. DC's crowd was good, but your biggest franchise, St. Louis, your biggest team name, your biggest crowd, a full third of them didn't show up to the game. Couldn't tell you why. Couldn't tell you if it was the timing, if it was weather. Couldn't tell you why, but for some reason they did not show up like they normally do for the Battlehawks.
Uh,
Um, something they got to figure out there for sure.
yeah, what's a Sunday game?
Yeah, it was a Sunday game. Um, is a slight counter to that though. I'm going to pull up the stats so I don't misquote it here real quick. Looking for a specific. No, not that. That's what I want. TV ratings.
Oh,
TV ratings were phenomenal. Um, the Friday game, Louisville at Orlando, 671,000. DC at Houston, 662,000 for the Saturday game. Dallas versus Columbus, 968,000. St. Louis versus Birmingham, 1.01 million. I think that's the first time I've ever seen a million besides like a big like championship game. So the TV ratings were huge. A lot of those TV slots, especially the Sundays games, were up like 33% versus last year.
yep.
So
I
what they
don't.
missed in the crowd was a third smaller. The TV crowd was a third bigger, which considering how many more people that is watching the games, I think that's a huge improvement. So you got to kind of like a mixed bag there uh on your ratings and your attendance.
Yep. I don't understand how that's possible, considering I couldn't find the game on Saturday.
And you know what? Thank you for bringing it up. I had to work Sunday. I had to work Sunday. Everyone's like the game's on ABC. I go. We have direct TV at work. I go to put it on the TV. Not on ABC.
Not there at all.
Couldn't find it. Not sure if there's something going on with direct TV and KSAT 12 or whoever owns KSAT 12. I don't know. That's our local ABC affiliate. Hey, figure it out. I was gonna be a lot louder about it. You know what I was gonna say.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I mean the ratings jump is huge. Could have been higher. Apparently, if depending on this supposed dispute or miscommunication or whatever, because it wasn't, I couldn't watch it, and
Yeah.
Raymond couldn't watch it either.
Me neither.
So, but that's good news. TV, the way it feels, especially with them going to smaller stadiums, seems like the TV market makes the money. And I've been happy about how they've been scheduling games for the most part and getting better slots and making it easier to watch the games. So it seems like this is working out on the TV side. Just got to get that attendance going because it looks a lot better and it makes the cities happy because they make money off those games when people attend the games. Because normally, not only are you paying to use the stadium, but the city or the stadium itself keeps the money from like concessions and all that stuff. Um, so you like to see better attendance in the crowd. Hopefully, they get that figured out. So we
Yep.
covered week two. We covered week three. Now we can get into it.
What do we got? What do we got coming up?
Let's go into week four.
Yep. Ooh, draft night competition. Wait, no.
I do not want it from ESPN. I want it from the UFL website. So we do have some draft night competition at the same time as draft starts.
Oh wait, no, we don't.
Unfortunate.
That's no. Draft
Oh,
is
that's
next
next
week.
week.
Yeah.
We're stupid. Next week. Tomorrow,
Yep.
Thursday. Louisville Kings at the Houston Gamblers.
Here we go,
A
gamblers.
scrum at the bottom of the barrel.
Here we go, gamblers.
This is the crab bucket. Who are you going to pull back down into the bucket so you can climb out? Louisville visits Houston. Um, hopefully that Houston crowd shows up. Hard to be motivated for your team when they get absolutely shellacked.
We have the best kicker in the league right now.
Have you ever shown up to a American football game just for the kicker?
I have not, but I stand by my statement.
Raymond, I believe in you.
It's gamblers.
Louisville versus Houston. I think Louisville comes out angry on
Louisville,
this one.
Louisville is -3 on this one.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it would probably be a close game. You saw that immediately hit the whiskey straight up.
Yes, I did.
Devastating
Unfortunate.
news for Raven here. Uh, I think
Unfortunate.
I think Louisville comes out of this one hot. I think they're like, hey, we know we can win. We're gonna go get it. I think they end up being maybe they lose some momentum after they lose a couple more games. Like, okay, no, what playoffs are cooked. We're cooked.
Question. Do I have to ride out the season with the Gamblers before I switch to the Renegades?
No, no,
Oh,
you're on a 1 year probation because your
okay.
team got moved.
Okay.
Long live the Brahmas.
Yep.
Long live the Brahmas.
Long live.
Um, yeah, no, no, you were on a 1 year probation. You were allowed to float as much as you want and cheer for who you want to. Um, just to kind of figure out what you're up to.
Okay.
I agree with the line though. Louisville by 3, or the favorite by 3. Then a rerun of last week. Dallas plays the Aviators again in Columbus.
Interesting.
I don't think Ted DWI Jin is going to be the answer. I think that team is like, ooh, Austin Reed figures it out, lights them up. I'm taking the Renegades.
I think I will do that too.
Yeah, I think the Renegades got that one. That is a Friday 8 Eastern game. So we got Thursday 8 Eastern, Friday 8 Eastern, and then we got a Saturday
Ooh,
12:30 game.
another good game.
St. Louis at DC. You got two and one teams.
They played week one, right?
They played week one. St. Louis won in St. Louis 16-10. I think the defenders got this one though.
I think so too. I think they've
I
learned
they
some. It's
yeah
a
they go ahead.
it's a different team from week one.
Yeah, they aired out all their issues. I think battle. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a good game. But I think with that crowd on their side, I think DC definitely can put this one away. I think I'm taking DC on that one.
I think so too.
And then the final game, also Saturdays. We had no Sunday game. Saturday, 4 p.m. Orlando at Birmingham. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
You got 3-0. You got 3-0 Orlando, who haven't had a dominant, like, yeah, that's the team win yet. Going up against Birmingham, who has been competitive, but they sit at 1-2. This is Birmingham's first home game, though. If you remember all
Right.
the offseason drama, Birmingham was the team where he was like, "Hey, we're going to do relocation. We're not sure who. If you sell this many season tickets, though,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens." And they bought a ton of season tickets. Bunch of single game tickets, I'm sure, are getting sold right now.
Oh, so
I feel like,
they got promised.
yeah, yeah, they were like, oh, if you sell those, since I've had enough time to mourn to be over it, but San Antonio was doomed from the beginning just because the Alamo Dome is probably expensive and the city doesn't want to work with them on that,
And
unfortunately.
much like and much like Birmingham, we didn't get a home game till like week five.
Correct. But Birmingham can do everybody a favor and win this home game and get themselves back on track. I don't know who to take on this one. I don't know who to take on this one. Does Orlando finally stumble? Do they finally run into someone that's good enough to stop them? Or are they going to prove, hey, we are as close as our games when we are a legit team and we're
Let's
going
see.
to
The line has Birmingham minus 2.5. So they
that
see
feels like
something in Birmingham. Let's see.
yeah,
Birmingham.
that feels like a good line to me because there's a lot of like doubt about Orlando when you compare like their strength of schedule.
I would also like to point out Birmingham lost to the Gamblers.
Birmingham did lose to the Gamblers.
I'm
Which
going
Birmingham shows up? The one that scored 30 on the Battlehawks or the one that scored 20 and lost to Houston?
I'm going Storm on this. I said it
You
last
really?
week, but I think this is the test for the Storm. And I think they come out and do something interesting.
I want to say the Storm. Maybe it's just the knowing that that's technically what became the Brahmas.
Yeah, it might
Maybe
be
that's in
Ghost
it.
of
I
Brahmas.
want to say the Storm, but this one is really, really close. This game could go either way, for sure. But enough about that. Um, check my notes, make sure we're not missing anything. We talked week 2, we talked week 3, and now we have made our picks. Not our picks, but we've talked about week 4. Um, I was on my notes and I scrolled right over the top of it. News that also came out today. The Renegades final game final home game, week 8, will not be held in Arlington. It will be at Fort Hood, Texas.
Oh man, Peyton's gonna be so over the moon for this one.
Peyton's going to be so over the
Oh my,
damn. Um, yeah, so Fort Hood, halfway between San Antonio and Dallas. Uh, so they announced that this one's going to be at they have like a some sort of stadium there. Sits like 6,000 people. It only has stands on one side of the field.
oh,
Um, but it's basically going to be it's like their salute to the military or whatever. I can't remember exactly what they called it. But it is free to all service members. And then single game tickets will be available for people that show up, very limited, but free to service members and then like their direct family that come with them. Um, so unfortunately, we are out on that one, Raymond. We will not be attending that game. That
yep,
was a potential game we thought about, and it is definitely not happening now because Peyton will not be there to get us in.
yep. So that in theory should be the highest attendance game of the league, right?
It would definitely it should be a sellout.
It should be it should be the only sellout in UFL the UFL season.
Yeah. So that's week 8. Um, I believe they play the Orlando Storm
They do.
at Fort Hood. Damn it, even a better reason to get to that game. It's Orlando. Yeah. Orlando at Dallas, but actually at Fort Hood, Killeen, Texas. Who knew there would be professional spring football in Killeen, Texas,
Not me.
the armpit of Texas? All right, awkward pause done.
Yep.
I mean, that's it. We covered football. We covered the NBA. We covered the news from the Vaqueros expanding their stadium from 12,000 to 13,500. Looks like it will be going through before this season kicks off next August, which is big news for them. Happy for them, especially happy as a season ticket holder. See my flags, my sombrero. Um, They'll also be playing UTSA this year at San Antonio, so that is a game we will 100% be at. That should be a very exciting game to go to. Raymond, anything you would like to add this week?
Uh no. Go UTSA, go Soldados. Looking forward to seeing what the roster looks like this season. Uh Devin, your favorite position in quad ball.
Snitch.
Fair enough.
If you could get me onto the quad ball field, I wouldn't be on any team. I'd be the snitch, and I'm gonna turtle it up. I'm gonna turtle it up. I'm gonna back my ass to a corner and be like, reach around, reach around. You're gonna have to reach around me. I want that reach around.
Hmm.
It's gonna be a psychological game. The snitch not supposed to talk, but I'm gonna talk.
Hmm. Maybe instead of Jewish basketball, maybe next week I just need to break down the rules of quad ball.
Maybe we need to take a deep dive into quad ball. Raymond the Ocho Harmon is here to stay.
Yep. See, I'll get a dry erase board.
John Madden over here. Now you see what's happening here right now. He's got the snitch going up the field, right?
So we got a classic play, a classic setup play. This guy's gonna come down here.
Mayonnaise. That's a long word. That is episode 28. Thank you everyone for joining us. Please like, comment, subscribe, everything you're going to do on YouTube for us. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Devin. This is my good friend Raymond, and we will see you guys next time. Have a good night.